Oh, Rosh Chodesh, Nissan, Parsha Vayikra, very exciting. We're in really crazy times right now. We should just be able to acknowledge all these things that are happening. And B'ezrat Hashem, I really want to dedicate this shir to the Jewish woman, especially imams right now, the mamis. I'm going to put it out there for those of us who are in Eretz Yisrael. It has not been easy. It's not been easy for anybody at any time. But I really hope this shir gives us koach. And speaking of koach, I want to say that, what was the theme of the week? Let's go to the theme of the week, and I think that's going to bring us to Chodesh Nissan, to Parsha Sefer Vayikra, Parsha Vayikra, which is very exciting. The theme of the week is that I realized in my conversations and with myself, my conversations with others, there was this overall theme, which has been the theme of my life, of Elana, just let go, right? Like, let go, let God. This is a beautiful, it's like such a catchy and beautiful phrase. Let go, let God. I mean, it could be like a poster. I even have in my office, like, let it go. And yet, I'm like, why is it so hard to do that, right? And I feel like crying when I could tell you that. And I realize, because you're asking me something to put energy also into letting go, Hashem. Like, here I feel like I'm in a sort of a Mitzrayim, and there is this galut of dat, right? I'm having a hard time connecting to a lot of different things. I'm also physically and emotionally exhausted. You know, it doesn't matter what the situation is, what you're doing. You're living with, at some point, there's sirens, there's booms. The garbage truck makes you jump because your body is in one of all the time of jumping. And it's so funny because I put on my seatbelt. Like, I take my life seriously. I'll put on my seatbelt, and I'm like, that's the same with calmness of putting my seatbelt is also the calmness of me maybe going to a bomb shelter. It's not about the hishtaldus of me really, and also like being and living in fear. But your body is going through such a sensation, of those of us who are living in Eretz Yisrael, that our bodies are in a constant state of oversensory, of hearing. For me, like, hearing the airplanes in the middle of the night freaks me out. I'm like, what's going on? And Hashem, protect these poor soldiers, and protect these pilots, and protect us, you know? It's like the body is going through so much. And when I come to Pesach right now, we're supposed to be coming to the Zman of the Geulah, B'ezrat Hashem, right? Of going out and connecting to that. So a couple things came to mind. Number one, Parsha Vayikra and Sefer Vayikra. But it starts off with Parsha Vayikra. It's Sefer Vayikra. It's very exciting. We're starting a new Sefer, and it's smack in the middle. Like, think about it as these two bookends. On the one hand, you have Breshit, creation, forming a family, you know, the emunahh, the avot. There's so much story, there's so much excitement. And then you have Shemot, about our slavery, about our going out, you know, all these things, Matan Torah. It's a lot of action. Like, always, I get so excited in Sefer Shemot, Sefer Breshit. And then also you have Devarim, you have Bamidbar, Devarim, we're about the desert and all the things that transpired, the man from years, you know, all these things happening. It's so exciting. The two book posts of like stories, and look at this, and then smack in the middle of Vayikra. And I'm like, how am I supposed to teach Vayikra? And what am I supposed to learn from Sefer Vayikra? Korbanot? What is this shaykh to me? What does an animal have to do? What am I offering Hashem? And I don't even like the word korban as it's translated into English, which usually means sacrifice. What a horrible word, right? I much better the word korban, karev, to get close to Kadosh Baruch Hu, but how am I supposed to get close to Hashem by bringing an animal? Is that really relevant to me at this time and stage? I'm like, trying to juggle all the things that I'm juggling without dropping a ball, and then I'm like, what is this whole entire Sefer of Vayikra? And why is it always the time of Chodesh Nissan, and before we leave Mitzrayim, and bringing the Geulah? So I want to take, first of all, you know, we have certain letters in the Torah that are not in the same size, right? We know that when it came to the Bechi of Avraham Avinu that was crying over his wife Sarah, we had a small letter, right? So there's like a deeper meaning into what does it mean when he's crying, and is he crying privately? Is he crying with tzniut? Is he crying that no one can understand his pain? Because it's like something that no one can understand. It's inside of himself. And then here we have another letter, Vayikra, with this little Aleph, right? And the little Aleph is coming to teach us about the humility of Moshe Rabbeinu, who was so anav. He was so humble. His godless, his greatness was that he didn't need the kavod. You know, he lived his life of one of actually in such humility that he was also able to tap into Hashem is calling you in the moments where you can't really hear Hashem. Like, Moshe Rabbeinu was able to take this small aleph, which I'm looking at as the aleph of emunahh and the aleph of or, and also it says that Kamosh nichnas adam obi b'simcha. right? When we enter the month of Adar, we're supposed to augment in happiness. Mishnichnas Nissan, Malbim Nisim. We're supposed to augment in Nisim, but also Malbim emunahh. Right? This is the Chodesh of emunahh, the Chodesh of Nisim, the Chodesh where Hashem is lifting us up and showing us things, and then we just have to have emunahh, right? So where's this emunahh coming from? I realize it's actually coming from a little Aleph. From the little something of what? Now, the week was, someone telling me crying, like it's a typical conversation I have with a woman who's, it's before birth, and she's like, I know in my head all I have to do is let go. Everyone's telling me that's the secret to birth, just let go. And I realized, I'm looking at her, she's like crying almost. I wanted to cry, and I'm realizing that's so hard. That means you have to have more on you, that in order to have a beautiful experience, you have to let go. I don't know, I felt like I could feel her, wow. And I'm always the one saying, let go, you have to let go, relinquish control to Hashem. And I was realized also in my life, can I tell you, the messages I keep getting and hearing is like, if you push back, just take a step back, let Hashem in. Or take a step back, the other person is going to compensate and step forward. But because you're not stepping back, you can't let go, you can't release, you can't be makabel. So that's why you won't be mashpia, you won't be given what you want. Your bracha is not coming because you don't know how to receive. I think to myself, you're giving me such a hard amount of work to do. I emotionally cannot take a step back. Don't ask me to let go. That actually is taking work. You think it's so easy to let go? So then I thought to myself, okay, so what am I supposed to do? And then here's this little Aleph, Vayikra. Hashem is just calling Moshe with a little tiny Aleph. And I thought, maybe it's because I think it's like letting go means I completely let go. It means that I have to do something that costs so much energy for me, I just can't. And if I'm a person who's all or nothing, if you're telling me to exercise, I'm either going to exercise an hour or I'm not going to exercise anything. I'm either going to eat completely healthy or I'm going to eat junk, right? I'm either going to go, I'm going to either say Sefer Tirlim or I'm not going to pick up my Sefer. I'm either going to daven korbanot, shmai, everything, or forget it. I won't even do Birkat HaShachar, right? If you're telling me I'll either love you or I hate you. I'm either going to give to you or I don't want anything to do with you. It's too much. And Hashem is saying, Vayikra, He calls us with such loving. Emunah is calling us. Such emunah is, I just need a little bit. It's like a little bit and a little bit more. And look at how it starts up. The Parsha, Vayikra el Moshe. Okay, He's calling to who? Moshe, Vayidiber Hashem elav. To him. Interesting. It's very interesting. It says elav. Me'ol moed lomar. So it's brought down. Why does He say to him? We're talking about to Moshe Rabbeinu. The alav. What does Rashi bring? He brings it that Rashi brings that there were 13 times. Oh, I'm sorry. Alav means to him and not with Aaron. He's calling only to him, and then it's brought down by Rabbi Yehuda. It brings that down, that there are 13 times in the Torah where it says LeMoshe u'Aaron, like it's the two of them together, and there's also 13 times where it's only Moshe. Aaron's not there. Now we know Aaron was great. In fact, even there were times that it says Aaron and Moshe and Aaron teach us that they're the same. But there's something about them that's not the same, which is brought down. And what was it that's not the same? Was effort. That there was some level where Moshe put in a tiny bit effort more than Aaron. Maybe because Aaron was such a Rodef Shalom, I was thinking he was always maybe trying to make everyone happy. So trying to please everyone, he was an all or nothing kind of meaning like I'm either gonna, it's like all or nothing. Like I want shalom, and wait, Moshe's gonna come. I'll give you everything. Like go ahead, give me your gold. Like it was like a kind of all or nothing where Moshe Rabbeinu was like it's all or nothing. I'm willing to fight, and I'm willing to make this effort extra. And Hashem, it was like it wasn't all or nothing. There was a little bit more of an effort. If this is what I can do, I'm gonna do it. This is an idea, and I think it's a very powerful idea for me because, again, I'm thinking, Hashem, I can't let go. It's too much for me. It's too mentally for me to be at 12:30 in the morning. It's not just I'm up anyways at midnight. I'm doing 10,000 things, but all of a sudden all my kids are up also with the siren and this and what do we do? And your body's in a state. It's not just like okay, Hashem Shomer, and I know He's protecting me. I know that here, but my body is feeling trauma. My body is feeling exhaustion, and I just can't let go and be like, okay, it's fine. I can't. So Hashem's saying just a little bit. Just give me a little bit of emunah. And then you're going to be writ a little bit. What can you do? Can you even turn to me and just say, Ribbon Shalom, maybe this is the first step. I can't. I'm asking you to help me because, meaning I can't let go. Instead of saying like I can't do this, Hashem. And my letting go is just turning to you and saying, I can't let go. I'm trying to fully control the situation. and help me. And help me. So I want to bring this story. And also, this is like a very famous, like, it's a concept that, we have these beautiful, like, I was like, wow, are people so not realizing what's going on in Eretz Yisrael also? Like, I talk to people, and, like, really, they have no idea. I'm like, are you not stopping? And I know if I was there, I would be doing the same thing. If I was living outside and I'm living in America, I'm talking to people right now, and I'm being a little bit, like, hard. I know that, but I can't believe how many people I talk to are such good people, and I don't spend 5 minutes a day saying something for Eretz Yisrael. 5 minutes a day. Like, do you know what? Does anyone understand what anyone's going through? Like, it's like, it's not just like, oh, it's obviously affecting our whole entire nation. It sounds funny, but not having school weeks on end, emotionally and mentally, is affecting the next generation. The uncertainty, which we've been living for 6 years since COVID, and war, and like, yes, people are out there, and the parks have kids in them, and you go to the supermarket, and yet there's no school. It's such a crazy time that doesn't make any sense of uncertainty. And we're supposed to get ready for Pesach. I'm not even, like, and you're supposed to do this, and you're supposed to do that, and no one knows. No one knows, and I would also not know. And no one's taking 5 minutes to just, I don't know, do something. Really, say Tehillim, write a letter. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. And if I don't know how much I even think about other people also. I don't know, right? Everyone's all caught up in their own. But maybe a little bit, I'm thinking, maybe we can just do one tiny effort. So here's the beautiful famous of, like, okay, I'm going to do Shmirat Hashan. For 1 hour a day, I'm not going to talk on the Zechut Am Yisrael. Let me protect Am Yisrael. I won't speak Lashon Hara from 2 o'clock in the morning until 3 o'clock in the morning. And you might think, what does it matter? What is that effort that I should be putting in? That's an effort? Hashem says, yes, that's actually the effort of Vayikra alive. Hashem is speaking to him. It's a little Aleph, it's a little effort, but you'd be surprised. So with that, a friend told me a story. Now, I didn't see it inside. She told it to me that there's this magazine that only talks about Hashgacha practice. It's like only a positive magazine. And right now I'm blinking on the name of it. I'm sure some people have heard of it. So normally you turn on the news, and what's the news? Is everything negative. You're seeing only negativity. You're seeing about, unfortunately, my son, one of my children, that their yeshiva doesn't have a bomb shelter, so they have to learn shuls, right? And he put someone stole his tefillin in the shul. So like a week ago, they took out this, meaning his tefillin was stolen. Like, that would make the news. My son's tefillin is stolen. Okay, here we go. Now we don't have it's like in the midst of one more thing that I have to now is like, okay, his tefillin, kaparet avanot mamash, but really, and what's going on with this tefillin? The person who steals the tefillin, what are they doing with the tefillin? Like, what are they doing with the tefillin? They sold him and a friend's tefillin. So that would make news. What doesn't usually make news is the hashgacha practice, the Chesdei Hashem, the helping, the love, right? So this whole magazine is about that. So we was saying a story. My friend was telling me the story inside the magazine. It's a true story. I hope I'm giving it over correctly, but this is how she told it to me, that she read it. And true story, that this concept of what does it matter if I do 1 hour between 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning in the Shmita Lashon. So she was saying this man, he started wanting to keep Shabbos. Okay, he's trying to keep Shabbos, and he says, I'm going to keep Shabbos every night from midnight until 10 o'clock in the morning on Saturday. Okay, normally people are asleep from midnight until 10 o'clock in the morning on Saturday, so keeping Shabbos then is not such a big deal. It's not even like staying like 1 hour after candlelighting and I want, like I'm gonna meditate and like take off no, this is like, mamish, I'm asleep and I'm keeping Shabbos. But this is what he said he's doing. He said, I'm committing to this. This is the effort I'm putting in. Midnight to 10 o'clock in the morning. He was out, I think he was out like with his friends, maybe they were at a party, I'm not sure. It's 11:50 p.m. He looks at the time, he says, okay, drop me, I'm getting out of the car. And I said, what are you talking about? He says, no, I made a commitment, I made a promise, this is what I'm doing. I keep Shabbos from midnight until 10 o'clock in the morning. They think he's crazy, I'm sure he's crazy. So he gets out of the car and he goes to sit on a bench and people are passing by, do you need help? No, good. He turns off his phone, he's sitting there and I don't know if he dozes off, I didn't know that part, but he sits there or he sleeps until 10 o'clock in the morning. At 10 a.m., he turns on his phone, he orders a taxi and he goes home. He goes to his apartment. To his surprise, he opens the door and his family's there and they look like they saw a ghost when he walks in. And they said, we were trying to, his phone was off. And they were like, you don't know what happened. Last night at 11:55, the car that you were in had a fatal car accident. Everyone was killed. So a person says, what does it do if I do a little bit? It's all or nothing. Like, it's all or nothing. And we're always being told no. It's about balance. Vayikra, the middle, to get close to Hashem is actually one that first of all comes with a little Aleph, just put a little bit more emunahh in this, a little bit calling out, a little bit like, Hashem, can you help me here? It's a little tiny step. It's not the huge thing. And also, korban likarev lakadosh baruch Hu is something that's the middle way. It's balance. It's not that I will only get close to Hashem if He gives me everything that I want, or if I say 100 Perek Tilim, 40 days, then I'm going to get what I want. And it's not, well, then I'm not going to do anything. It's this beautiful dance of what I can offer you, Hashem, I will give you. And I'm going to make a little bit more of an effort, though. So I remember once there was a video going around with Rabbi Kolodowski, and she was telling the Banot of Am Yisrael, chetzi centimeter. She said, just add a chetzi centimeter. And I remember my daughter questioning, what if I'm doing it al pi halacha, if it's kosher, let's say. I'm not talking about like something that's not kosher versus kosher. I'm already good. My dress is completely appropriate. Why would another half a centimeter make a difference? What is she talking about, half a chetzi centimeter? So I didn't know, honestly. I didn't know what to answer. I asked Rabbi Spender. I talked to her about with her. And she says, no, you don't understand. When you make an effort of another chetzi centimeter, whatever that means to you, what it means is I'm making a chetzi centimeter to improve my connection to Hashem, to make this more endearing to me, to make this something that's an effort. That chetzi centimeter brings the geula, more than we can imagine. That is the korban. That's how to likarev l'kadosh baruch Hu. And what does it say about the oni, the poor person? The poor person, when now we're talking about a korban that's hitnavut, it's a voluntary offering. Before that, it says when Adam, a man, comes and he's giving a sheep, or he's giving the lamb, whatever he's offering. This animal, what is an animal? Also, I'm like, what's going on with the animal? And I realize, you know what? We can just become to a point where we're like robots, remote, and I have to say it like an animal. Meaning, what's the difference between an animal and a human being? Is a human being has an neshama that they can discern and that they can change. So what am I trying to tell you is like this. If a dog was trained that whoever comes in the door, they should bite, if that's the training, they will not be able to discern that a kid wandered into the room and it wasn't a robber, right? Whereas a human being can look at somebody and say, oh, my kids are fighting right now. And the reason why they're fighting is because they haven't had school in 2.5 weeks. They're stressed out. There's an underlying fear that there's going to be a siren and booms. And they're bored. And so I, as a human being, can say, wait a minute. I can have compassion and understand that, and I can let go and say, it's not that, oh, I'm getting so dramatic and my kids are always fighting, and I don't have to catastrophize this. I can just say, this I can discern. My neshama can tell me, wait a minute, have more rachmanis, let go a little bit, Elana, which I know is not the easy thing to do, right? I'm asking you just to the Aleph of letting go, and say, okay, it's okay that they're fighting actually right now. It's kind of appropriate. We're all stuck together. And it's a tense situation, and they're tired because they're getting up and they're sleeping late, and they're in the middle of the night, they're being woken up. So, but a dog can't make that discernment that the person coming is tired. Only I can, as a human being with a neshama, with a soul, understanding and looking at this. So if I'm bringing a korban to get close to Hashem, it's saying, I'm bringing something, it should be me. When I act like an animal, I'm the one who really should be, then I should be sacrificing myself. But Hashem, I can change. I can see that I am not this animal. I can go beyond. I can make an effort. I can change. And it says that when the poor person wants to bring a nedir, but it says v'nefesh. All of a sudden it's not dam. It's a nefesh ki takariv korban. This nefesh is bringing. What are they bringing? Flour. They don't have a sheep. They don't have anything. They don't have enough money. They only have enough money for flour. And yet Rashi brings that it's the nefesh. It's called nefesh because when a poor person brings whatever they can, it's as though they're bringing their soul. Hashem is just asking, what small amount can you do? You want to do Shemitah Lashon from 2 o'clock in the morning until 3 o'clock in the morning? Dayenu. Be'emet, dayenu. That's amazing. Well, what is that going to do? How is that going to affect the world? You would not know. Maybe it'll save your life for all you know, right? And we have this tiny bit of mamatz, right? And in with this also, it's brought about, it's a very interesting, it says in the Pasuk, V'nefesh ki cheta, okay, this what happened? It brings in the scenario that there was a person who touched an animal that was not a corpus that was dead. So then that's tuma, and then they go inside the mishkan, or the area of the mishkan, the mikdash, and they're eating in tuma. So the question is, wait. Then it says v'ne'ela mimenu v'hu tameh. What did he forget? That he was tameh? It's a whole sugya that's brought down in Masachet Shavuot. He says, what's happening here? I'm going to give an example. This is not the same scenario, but like, let's say a person's, they're in a state I mean, this is mamash not the same idea, but it's imagine like saying like, I'm putting on an outfit to go exercise, right? And with my exercise outfit, I'm going to shul on Yom Kippur to daven. So what happened here? Did I forget that it was Yom Kippur? Did I forget that that's totally inappropriate to wear that outfit in shul? Meaning that you're not going to exercise in shul on Yom Kippur? What's happened here? It goes through all these scenarios. Did they forget that it was Kodesh? They went into Kodesh. Did he forget that he ate something tamei? What is happening? How did it bring to a point where a person would, in a state of impurity, enter into such a holy place? How could that happen? So it's brought down by Rav Chaim Zichik. Rabbi Boyer brings him down, that down, that the way this happened was by hergel. It was just by habit. It's like a person has a habit. You wake up, and if my habit is always to check my phone, and it's right by my bed, so guess what's going to happen on Saturday? I might also check my phone, even though it's Shabbos. If that's my habit, we have to break our habits. Because otherwise we just are like these animals. We're like robots that are just going. So the way is, this is that's why we have spring cleaning or the Pesach cleaning. I'm going to say Pesach cleaning, not spring cleaning, because we're supposed to be actually cleaning to break a habit. Pesach comes and it says there's 1 week of the year you're supposed to be eating matzah. Stop with your habits that are just making you go on remote and not making you get closer to me. Because you're just doing this habit. You're just davening. It's a habit already. Change it. Because otherwise it's like you forgot even who you're davening to, what you're davening for. You might even forgot that you're davening. You'd be in the mud of the Shemona essay. You know? So with that being said, I want to bring in a beautiful teaching that Rav Levi brings in from Rabbi Nachman, Likutei Moharan, Torah Nun Vav. And this is just, mamash, I hope it's going to bring everything together. And it says in the Vayikra-Chodesh, right, that when we eat matzah, we're talking about we're getting closer to Pesach. We're getting closer to this concept of a little bit more. We're trying to tap into emunahh. We're trying to have a galut, from going from the galut of dat, right, to a geula of dat, which means one of disconnecting to one of connection. So he brings in about the matzah. Okay, the Vayikra-Chodesh brings in that when we eat matzah, it's a refuah for all our illnesses. Okay, that's a very interesting. I'm surprised no one's bottled this up. Like, how is it that we have all these, mushroom, it brings refuah, medicine, and all of a sudden, what's with matzah? Most people complain about the matzah they have to eat. And here we have something written by the Vayikra-Chodesh that it's actually refuah. And yet no one's, okay, it is actually very expensive, the matzah. But I'm saying no one's bottling this. No one's marketing it. Most people are complaining about it, actually. They complain that they have to buy it, they complain they have to eat it, and they complain about it. And they're looking for any way they don't have to eat. I mean, it's crazy to me. We go running around circles trying to find Yeshuot, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, I'm giving you a halacha, d'oraita, and it's refuah. So the question is why? Why are we eating this on Leil Seder? Why is it so much that it's refuah? What is this bringing us? And also, how is it possible that when we eat matzah, it says it gives us such a kochot nefesh atzumim, so much so, it gives us such emotional and spiritual strength that after Pesach I can go back to eating chametz. Now I'm going to tell you 2 things. I was thinking about this word matzah, and I'm like, oh, that hey, it actually sounds very nice to say it, matzah. Like my body can relax to it. Actually, there's something about the hey. It's like a sigh, where I can't let go, Ribon Shalom. And I don't know how to take a step back. And don't put on me now more pressure that I have to step back in order for the other person to step forward. Don't put that on me. Or you, Hashem, I have to step back so you'll give me more also. That's a lot. But maybe I can just give the hey, the sigh, and relax my body. I'm really telling you, the hey, I was like, oh, maybe that's matzah. It's like, because what's chometz, this chet is closed. The difference between the hey and the chet is a little line that closes it. And when I say the word chometz, I actually feel like lachatz. I feel pressure and stress. There's something in my body when it's chometz, it's like stressful. Chet, also the word chet has whatever, like lots of chets, right? Chet is you're off target. Whereas matzah reminds us of mitzvot, something that connects us. So let's look at that. It's the lechem of refuah and emunah. And I will tell you, there was one thing that Baruch Hashem, I can tell you, no matter what was going on, I grew up in a home where we were very makpid on Pesach and Matzah. right? I remember going to my public school, taking my matzah sandwiches, matzah and salami, matzah and cream cheese, not together, but, and everyone's eating their like hot dog buns. It was always like hot dog day, I don't know, in my school. And there I am eating my matzah, and I am telling you, this infused in me was so, I think my matzah eating, that now I am who I am because of this. My emunahh is all because of what I ate when I was a child of matzah. I really believe that. I strongly believe this. It infused in me emunahh because it was something that we do not bend on. Even though I'm telling you to right to the left, you have to be the middle ground. This is something where, no. Matzah, you don't bend on it. There's a sod in it. It's a segula. And what is this going on? So it says that there are 4 sudot. We have 4 elements, okay, that make up the nefesh of the person, actually. Our nefesh is made up of 4, our soul is made up of 4 different elements. We have fire, we have wind or air, we have mayim, water, and afar, which is the ground or the dust, right? And this is the shosh of the midot of Adam. This is really the roots of a person, of their emotional state also, of their physical. And how do I know this physically? Because when a person, for example, is sick and they have a fever, they have too much chom, too much heat, too much fire, right? It means the body's not in balance. There's no shalom in the body. I have to try to bring down that fever, which is trying to find out a virus or infection. Also, if I were too cold, I would be anemic. Something's wrong when I don't have either also the ish, the fire, which maybe would be anger and arrogance, or it's more anger, right? I could burn everything. I need some, but I also need fire to cook, to heat something up. So if I don't have any fire, where's the passion, right? It's coming from. Where's the love and the connection? All these, we're trying to always achieve a balance. When there's balance, there's harmony, there's shalom, it's health. Physical, emotional, and spiritual health comes from balancing these 4 elements. So another example would be afar, for example. Too much earth, too much dust leads a person to depression. You feel kvadut, heaviness. When you're not actualizing the potential, you're not actualizing that earth that Hashem gave you, and you're just either from laziness or just sadness, right? It brings us down. And yet too much cultivation, maybe too much working the land, too much of this afar, too much rigidity, right? A person, you get depleted. There's mamish depletion in the land. Right? So we're always trying to find this balance. And what's the Shekhinah, the presence of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, of also the concept of Shalom is in these sodot. Okay? So what happens? That it says that everything in life is also opposites. We see Adam and Chava, they were opposites. Right? So again, there's a kind of an opposite also between the fire and the water, between the earth and the air. But within them is an opposite. Again, if I said you're too angry or you have no passion, we're always like these opposites. The world is based on opposites. Now, how in the world would a man and a woman become together? They're completely totally different people. So it says in the Torah, how are they? What brings them together? V'adam yada et chava ishto. That connection, right? It's all about connecting here, my awareness. If the people outside of Eretz Yisrael are not spending 5 minutes connecting by thinking about what's going on and davening, they're not connected to Eretz Yisrael and the people, what's going on. The only thing that would make me connected is if I actually have thought about it, awareness, and I'm thinking about it, and I'm forefront, right? How is it possible that I can learn with somebody who's across the world and teach a class across the world? Because we have a connection with our dot. It's only with our dot. It's not the Zoom that's connecting us, it's the dot, right? Also, how am I supposed to get connected to Kadosh Baruch Hu? How am I supposed to add that emunahh and try to find a little bit of this Aleph? It's with dot. When we were in Mitzrayim, when we were in Egypt, we had no dot. We had no connection. And I'm wondering, how is it possible that the same bread, believe me, they did not eat baguettes or sourdough when they were slaves in Egypt, okay? They also didn't have time to let it rise. They had to work like craziness, and there was no time to let bread rise. They were eating the same matzah before as they did afterwards. What was the difference of going out of Mitzrayim? It was a difference of dot, of connection. All of a sudden, this bread means to me, this hurriedness means to me, Hashem, you're taking me out. That you love me, that I'm connected to you. So they take your matzah, and it says like this, that when they came out of Mitzrayim, for 30 days they ate the matzah. And then what happened? The man came down, this beautiful, wonderful bread. What was this a bread of? It says the pasuk, it says that you ate the man. You didn't know about this. You didn't have doubt with this man. okay? And also your forefathers never had, this kind of bread that would connect them so much to Hashem. Laman, why? Hodiecha ki lo alechem levado yichyeh adam, ki al kol motza pi Hashem yichyeh adam. Why were we eating this man that was coming straight from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, so directly and begilui, based on our emunah? Was because we had to understand that a human being does not live on bread. It lives on the word of Hashem. What does that mean to me? I want to give you a mashal. You have two children who are born. Two babies are born, two children. And one, God forbid, loses his parents, he goes to an orphanage. Every day this child is fed peas, potatoes, and chicken on a plate in front of him. The other child grows in a house where he has a mother, father who give him, they hand him the food, they cook for him, they hand him the food, the potatoes, the peas, and the chicken. They're eating the exact same nutrients. This vitamin, this amount of protein, it's the exact same nutrients. I'm telling you, the children, they're not living on this nutrients. The one who has the parent who's giving to them with so much love and putting their kochot into this food is going to live. The other one might be alive, but they're not living. There's no connection to the person who's giving me the food. There's no connection, there's no love, there's no nurturing. Hashem giving us the man in the desert was saying, I'm not just giving you food to live on. I'm giving you a life of connection. That is the life that we have. I'm telling you, if I told you, last night I burst out crying. I was just crying. I called out a friend, and I'm like, if I call someone here in Israel, they're going through the same thing as me. I don't want to burden them. If I call someone outside of Israel, they have no idea what I'm going through. But I do have a tzaddiket friend that I was able to call outside of Israel, who was able to be with me, mamash, in Matzah. And I just letting me cry. And I just said, I'm so tired. I'm just tired. I don't have koach anymore also to keep going with my emunah and trying so hard. I'm tired of trying so hard. I said, I give Hashem 200%. What does he want from me? And I just need to cry. It was actually the crying and having somebody hear my cry and understand it was me actually making my mamatz, because I hold it in so much and I put on such a brave front so many times. And I needed to make myself vulnerable. And it was like, in a way, it was a tefillah for me. And then I could come back to myself and collect myself. And I say, okay, Ribbon Shalom, I'm going to give 201%. That's all I can do. But I'm going to still do it. I'm going to still do it. Just connect to me. I'm fine. I'm eating. I'm alive. I have clothing. I have a home. I have children. I have everything. I have a family. But I need you. We forget. We need Hashem. He gives us all these things. He gives us. We need Him. And it says that when we were Bamidbar, for 40 years we ate this man, which is a direct connection. It was the baby inside the mother's womb that doesn't have to think about where's my food coming from. I just know you're taking care of me. It was called the Dor Dea. It was the generation of dat, actually, of connection. And what's brought down, the Rosh brings us down, that the man, actually eating this man, gave dat. It gave connection. They knew they were loved by Hashem. They knew they were being taken care of. So what happens in Pesach? We have to go back and understand. That's brought down by, in Masechet Kiddushim, it says, Uga v'yotzim mitzrayim ta'amu batam man. The matzah didn't taste like matzah of the crackers of the oni when they were in affliction, the bread of their affliction. It tasted all of a sudden like man, which meant that all of a sudden now this matzah had the koach of being dat, of giving me connection to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And for the 30 days that we ate it, it says we had 40 years in the desert we were eating the man. But we didn't. We had 39 minus 1, like 12 and 11 months. No, that 12th month, which was eating matzah, also is giving you that. It's giving you connection. So what does this mean? Let's put this all together. It means that if we think it's lechem oni, it means what is the more thing that a poverty of a person could have is they don't have connection. Because I can be wealthy and feel like I have nothing as far as monetary. And I can literally monetary not have anything and I feel very wealthy. When I'm connected to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, when I'm realizing that this is Hashem, and you're not doing this because you hate me, you're doing this because you want me to grow and you love me. I have to pound this into my mind 100 times a day. We all have to do these targeling where we're sitting and we go, just the hey, let go. Hashem, open me up. Don't make me close lachatz where I just feel so much pressure. This chet of chometz that everything is getting so big and overwhelmed. And how am I going to do this? How am I going to make Pesach? How am I going to entertain my children? They're asking me to buy them more things. Yesterday I made a little video. I tease. My little ones comes to me and says, Mommy, I want you to buy me. And I said, don't ask what your mommy can buy for you, but ask what you can buy for your mommy. And I was like, okay. And I got them laughing a little bit, but I'm like, really? I'm not buying you anything else. They're waiting for me to go take them to the toy store. Ain, there's no more. There's no more. I'm spent. Hashem, I have no more. But maybe inside me somewhere, I'm going to find myself, I'm going to let out a sigh of the hay, of the matzah. I'm going to connect to, please, Ribbon Shalom, I'm going to eat matzah. We should all be zocheh to be eating matzah this Pesach. Bringing the Geula, Bezat Hashem, it should come now, and we should be eating it, realizing how much Hashem loves us. And He's just asking, I say just, not so, it's a huge just. Yes, He is asking us to connect to Him. Free yourselves from that Hashem doesn't care, or this person doesn't care, or why am I in this? And I realize, you know what? I'm going to start doing deals with you, Hashem. I'm going to give you another percent, and I'll be zocheh, whenever I see my children, why not? If that's what gives me the koach to keep going, I'm making bargains with Hashem, I'm going to do it. Do whatever you can. Find inside yourself a targil, an exercise where you can, for one time in the day, let sigh, and Hashem, I can't, eli koach also, but not in a iyush of giving up, in choser oni, which is like, I can't. There's a very big difference between giving up and just the sigh. The sigh of I'm trying, right? So this matzah we're going to eat, we're going to fill ourselves with emunahh, and it says here that a person who eats this matzah, that will give him koach the whole entire rest of the year. You can deal with stressful situations because you have this emunahh. How am I going to deal with the chametz the whole entire year round? I will deal with it with the matzah that I ate, the lechem emunahh, knowing that Hashem, you love me. So we have, ending with this, we have Vayikra, this middle, trying to find the balance. It's not extreme, it's all or nothing. It's little tiny whatever. Moshe, you're being spoken to more. Why? Because you give a little bit more effort. Try whatever we can do to give effort. Also, sometimes we need to cry. That's maybe what I did last night, which is so good for me, that sigh of just crying. Really coming to a point where I'm so crying. This is the Sa'aka Gedolah that we had before we left Mitzrayim, where we were just crying. And not crying in a kvetch, in a complaint. A kvetch is like I'm talking about a sigh of emunahh, really. And the letter chet is 8, right? So if we have these 4 elements, it's so hard for us to try to find the balance. It's like this extreme, that's 8. It's either good or it's not. It's so hard for us during the year. But when we take the hay of the matzah, and we realize this hay is 5, which is what? It's a balance. It's also the 5 books of the Torah. It's I can connect the Torah and balance in the middle. I have the 2 to the right. I have the 2 to the left. Hashem, let me just try to turn inwards into balancing, into centering myself, into grounding myself, into realizing I'm telling you, I know it's so hard to let go. So I'm actually not asking you to let go. I'm just asking you to sigh. Just to sigh. Just a little bit. The little tiny bit of effort. A little bit of effort where it means maybe thinking about other people more. A little bit of effort where you feel like you ainli kavar zeo. A little bit of effort also taking care of yourself where you feel like I don't have time for that actually either. A little bit of effort of like, Hashem, can I connect to you for maybe two minutes of a day? I'm just going to pour my heart out to you in a connecting way, not in a just I don't even know what to tell you, but I just want to connect to you. I just need that. I need that. We need connection. Mizat Hashem, we should zocheh to have connection wherever we are, not undermining what everyone is going through anywhere, because it's really everyone is going through so much, and Bezat Hashem, we should be zocheh to connect to that in the Geula Shlema. B'Karov Shabbat Shalom.